Welcome. I welcome you to Ran Out of Talent podcast. We can't thank you enough for checking in, taking it in, listening to the stats. Joey Fitzsimmons, co-host. You got Joe Jr. running the show. Me, I'm main man, just trying to just rip up a couple freestyles just for you, tuning in to Ran Out of Talent. But if you ever run out of talent, don't take no time, don't take anything, just get hold of Junior or Joey and talk about it. But if you the ball on top, you're gonna talk about it. So better be ready.
All right, we're back with another episode. How's it going tonight, Joey?
Oh, it's just going fine and dandy. For all you out there, the last episode we had an echo. That is now gone.
That is good. Yeah, so I forget the guy's name, but he's always given me good tips. And he goes, try to do it on Chrome. And I downloaded Chrome right before this episode, and I tried to do it, and it didn't. My camera would not work through Chrome. And then all of a sudden, there's just this crazy freaking echo that it's like, it's like, I hope this works on Firefox because this is the only way I can get it to work.
Well, it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's new with you, Joey?
It's cold. It's Sunday.
You know, Beth and I, Beth is trying to get me drunk. We went on a bike ride before I set this up, and we stopped at the liquor store on the west side of town, and she got me this margarita tall boy, and I drank it like, yeah, it's just a tall boy. Oh, dude, I was buzzed for like a good hour and a half, and then I took like a 10-minute nap before this. It's like, oh my. Okay.
Yeah, that tequila will hit you.
Oh, it does. I shouldn't love it as much as I do. So anyways, before we get into it, check out that banner on the bottom. Go to pwrmerch.com. Look for your Ran Out of Talent gear there. You get your t-shirt or your coffee mug. Also, they have all kinds of other stuff. You can get your MMR shirt. You can get your MNRC gear. You can get all kinds of Minnesota racing gear. You can get your if you ain't got balls, you ain't going fast shirt and your standard Ran Out of Talent shirts there.
Absolutely.
I don't think we've been selling any lately, but that's okay.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. So anyways, both you and I have races coming up next week. You're announcing and I'm going to one. So what's your anticipation for the Hobby Farm? It's a points opener, right?
Yes, so not next weekend, but the weekend after, the week of the 28th is...
Oh, I thought you were going next weekend, the week of the 21st. Fuck, I wish I had a car for you. You should come with me to Muscatine. We got a 3-bed hotel room because I thought Senior was going to be coming with me, and he never ended up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to skip this one.
It's all good. Next weekend's topless weekend, last race of the last race of the season. So,
well, I'm glad it's next weekend instead of this weekend because this weekend it would not have happened at all. We got a crazy amount of rain. Today was decent, but that was about it.
Yeah, this weekend was a very rainy weekend.
Yeah. Joey, you put up a Discord link. Are we streaming this in our Discord also?
Not currently, but I can figure out how we can.
I know how we can do it. We can. So in the start of this, I hit add things to stream to, and I bet there's a Discord deal.
Let's look.
We will after this because I would have to end the stream to add it. Because right now we're just streaming on Facebook and YouTube.
That, ladies and gentlemen, mainly gentlemen that I see, that right there is our Discord link to the Discord I had made a couple weeks ago. So we've already been in there once.
Well, yeah, we've been in there once, and we were just wrenching, and I propped my phone up on a Prime bottle. And yeah,
I had mine my phone propped up on this little guy, my little
Yeah.
phone stand.
Right. So, you and Olivia had that potluck at work. How'd that go?
So my line didn't. So Friday we had inventory. So each line had their own little potluck. So that went good. We were in there at 7 and out of there at 5. So we got paid for 10 hours of time, although we sat around for about 6 of that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was good. One of my buddies from Montana is in town racing late models since the weekend before last.
Okay.
And he's just been at this guy's house he's staying at for the last 2 weeks, bored out of his mind.
Yeah.
So I hit him up on Thursday, I believe it was, and I'm like, dude, let's go to Topgolf, because he's never been to a Topgolf.
I've never been to a Topgolf either. So explain to me, you're supposed to get the ball in the neon circles, right?
Correct. So they have a list of different games. You can play like
Okay.
Angry Birds, you can play like a Candy Crush game, longest shot, the
Yeah.
list goes on. So you get 5 shots per game you play.
Gotcha.
Each person up to 6 people or more if you reserve more than one bay.
I gotcha.
So we did that. We were there for quite a while. Me, the guy he's staying with, my girlfriend Olivia, my dad, his girlfriend, and our neighbor, and one of our other buddies went. So we all had a good time.
Well, that's good. I've been sequestered to my basement wrenching on RC cars for the past week and a half. You always think you have all this time, and then you're just a little over a week towards the big race, and you realize you have to go through 4 cars. You have to glue up 10 full sets of tires and paint bodies. Because Joe 3 is going to get 2 sets per car. I'm going to get 3. So, yeah, we're going to the NCTS in Muscatine coming up next weekend. We're going to leave Thursday morning. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, man. So the entries themselves are looking good, but there's no pros going, which I'm fine with. I'm not a fan. I don't care if there's pros or not. I just want a good group of racers. Jake said he's been working all 4 of his cars every night. Same with gluing tires. Dude, it becomes a lot because, I started looking at this stuff in June saying, oh, I got time. I got plenty of time. And all of a sudden, it's like October 4th, and it's like, shit, I have no time. Donald Tolbert saying, what's up? Jeremiah is wondering, when am I heading to Iowa? I'm heading out Thursday, probably at 5 a.m.
Early. How far of a drive is it? You said 4 hours?
5.5.
Oh, word.
Yeah, 5.5. It's almost the same distance as Omaha, but it's a weird drive from Elk River. So, I cross into the Iowa border on a county road.
Oh.
It's a lot of single lane driving. So, yeah, I'm getting excited, except for I haven't been nervous in a long time. I've been driving the exact opposite of 1/10 scale carpet off-road with 5th scale gas and 8th scale nitro. I'm kind of oh crap, let's see how this goes, because I haven't been on carpet since April.
Yeah, you got to get tenured to that grip level.
Yeah. Jeremiah's wondering, practice or quals on Friday? I believe it's practice in the morning. I think it's a seeding round Friday night.
That's how they've been doing the NCTS.
Yeah, I mean that's the way. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm kind of bummed. So my plan was to, Saturday racing, and then afterwards order the UFC pay-per-view in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be over by then.
I got to imagine so. Yeah.
No, because it's on at 1 p.m. They're fighting in Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
Usually UFC cards start at 9
Mhm.
p.m. So,
What time would
Yeah.
that be here then?
well, here it starts at 1 p.m.
Oh, I got you.
But normally it starts at 9 p.m. Central.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah, we got some things to talk about tonight. One of them, David Ronald Falk, he found himself a new ride. I want to say Barufalo.
X-ray.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'll tell you what, those guys over at X-Ray, they're not going to put up with that shit. You know what I mean? Donald Tolbert says room insurance. We don't get that into the UFC. I mean, I get in the UFC, but I'm not like slamming stuff around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, I'll be with a group of people and they'll say, that'll never work on the ground. It's like, really? Let me show you how that works. Well, let me show you exactly how that works.
Let's put this to the test here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I've been sick since the last round of the MNRC. I've been sick since, since a month. It's been a month. I've been just dying. So the last round of the MNRC, it went from like 80-degree weather to like 60 and rainy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just been hacking and coughing and all that junk.
Yeah, I had really one bad day. I felt like absolute dog shit.
I wish I only had one bad day. So I went to the gym and went hard today. I got in 2 grappling rounds and 3 rounds of sparring, and I'm huffing and puffing like an old man with mesothelioma.
Oh, God.
Eric says COVID. Eric, if that's what COVID is, somebody owes me money because I know I was lied to, but fuck. No, what happened was it could be COVID because here's why it could be COVID. So I finally get sick of it a few weeks back and I go to the urgent care like there's something going on. Well, I have a sinus and an ear infection. Okay. And he gives me an antibiotic, but before I was seen, there was 90 minutes of me sitting in a packed waiting room and me just absorbing everybody's. I think I got everything. I think I got Serpa herpes COVID AIDS. I mean, dude, COVID's only supposed to last like a week.
Yeah.
No,
I have some pretty good memories. Well, not memories, but pretty good experiences at the ER in 1 year.
Yeah,
There's a couple of times I had to take Olivia to the emergency room, like probably twice in a month and twice in another month.
Yeah.
We sat there for probably 9-10 hours until.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wow. Yeah, that is bad. So, anyways, Ronald Falk, he's going to X-Ray. That'll be really good for his on-road gig because a lot of people don't. Oh, Donald Tolbert goes, he had tubes in his ears. So I did also. And my daughter did also. And when I got home from hey Lonnie, how's it going? When I got home from urgent care, my 15-year-old daughter comes up to me. So you're where I get my shitty ears from. It's like, yeah. Unfortunately.
I was one of the lucky kids that didn't have to have tubes.
Yeah. Well, my ears were good, but now they look like chewed up bubble gum, and I think that doesn't help things.
No, not at all.
Jeremiah's wondering if I got that track built in the backyard yet. Nope. because that's where the dogs use the bathroom. So, didn't Barufalo? Where did Barufalo go? Oh, Jeremiah's talking to Lonnie about getting a track built.
He just
Lonnie,
bought a house, didn't he?
yeah, Lonnie just moved.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I seen that on Facebook. Congrats on you, Lonnie.
Yeah. Keep on. He was pushing on no sleep the other night. He's got to keep on going. So, Barufalo, where did Barufalo went to? WIRC now.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
I think he should have stayed with Techno. He was just fine on Techno.
No, he wasn't. Not in Europe. So the issue is,
okay, yeah, that could be argued with.
no, Barufalo's been doing garbage in, and then what race was it Buggyland that just happened? Some big European race. And he just took fourth with that I'm going to call it a WRC buggy.
Okay, what does the I in there even stand for?
International or some nuts.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think they were arguing with the FIA because WRC is World Rally Championship.
Yep.
And these guys thought they could just come in and be like, no, we're WRC. So, I don't know. Maybe FIA has better lawyers than Traxxas. That could be a thought. Ooh, your post-up questions. All right. We'll get to those in a bit.
I'm just putting them in here so we don't forget about them.
No, I got that.
Oh, man.
Tim Crystal says World International Racing Cars. You know what? I'm not going to put WIRC off the map because 4 or 5 years ago, S-Works was a flaming hot pile of garbage. Now, S-Works is a world-class RC vehicle. You got to give those guys room to grow. Unless they're Caster Team C, and then they can just rot in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, there's a guy up in Duluth back in, I must say, 20s. He was a former co-host of this show, Shane Madrinich. He used to be sponsored by Caster. And he kept replacing Caster parts with, I want to say, Mugen parts. And we did the percentage. And at the end of the year, he had an okay car, but his car was like 45% Mugen. It's one of those things, it's like, it looks good in the pictures. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
looks good in the pictures, but doesn't handle very well at the track.
Right. You know, unfortunately, so I heard a little bit more about local A-scale indoors, and I heard they hit a snag, but they're still trying to work on something. And I still don't know who it is. All I heard was they hit a snag, and they're still trying to work on something.
Well, I hope they get that figured out, because that'd be pretty dope here around the area.
No kidding. You know, but to be fair, this race here coming up, this NCTS, is the only weekend race I have planned until Vegas.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So it's nice just to go club race and hang out with your homies, you know, get your cars dialed in. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to have to buy 2 new 2-wheel drive buggies for Joe 3 and I, because we are going to have an AstroTurf car and a carpet car, because the carpet setup I just put into our 2-wheel buggies, it's way too far off from a good AstroTurf setup. So it's not just a matter of... So I had it to the point to where it was kind of good on carpet and kind of good on Astro, and you change like springs, and for Astro you put a slipper back in, and you raised your ride height and changed your tires, and I think you changed a couple of roll centers, and you were all right, you know. Now we're too far away from that. The Wheelers are fine. Yeah, the Wheelers are fine though. That's what's amazing because they're Wheelers. They just work. They work or they don't work.
True.
Yeah. Lonnie's wondering. Question segment. Well, we don't really have segments anymore because we're kind of all over the place since we've been going live. He goes, where did Caster Racing come from and who runs one that we would know of? Well, nobody runs them anymore. Yeah. Nobody runs them anymore. And I don't know who runs them. There's a guy who always posts stuff about him in RC Racing Group. And I don't know. I haven't seen anything good ever. Have you?
Kind of sort of didn't even know a caster was a thing.
Yeah. Well, it died in like 2018 around here. Pat Boy saying prepping on cars for NCTS. Any prediction for podiums for NCTS? I'm going to say the podium for two-wheel modified is going to be, I want to say between 1 and 2, it's going to be a battle between Jake Sweisberger and Wiggs, and Rona's going to be in there because those are your heavy hitters in mod. In stock, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be in the A in stock. I'm going to try. But
Not with that attitude, you're not. You should be saying, like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get in that A, man. I'm going to go win that bitch.
I'm going to practice my balls off.
That's a start.
And hopefully that will get me somewhere. I think the best I've ever done, I want to say the best I've ever gotten to was a B in Wheeler. And it's like I was in a bump spot for the A, and then I just started eating shit.
Stepped on you, Willie.
I do that a lot. Jeremiah.
I did that last weekend racing.
Yeah. Where'd you race?
I raced at the Fall Classic at Ogilvy.
Oh, real cars. Yeah.
Yep. IRL in real life.
Yeah. So you made the feature, I'm guessing, or were you?
I didn't even make it to the feature.
Oof.
I ran practice with this car on Thursday. Got comfortable.
Yeah.
Had to work on Saturday, so I showed up late. And I was the second heat race out for our class. Yep. I made it 2.5 laps and blew the motor.
Ooh, that's rough. Yeah. So, does your dad wear like a baseball cap to the track?
No.
My favorite was one of my friends, JB Storts, used to race. Do you know JB?
Oh, yeah.
So when his dad was still alive, JB would be racing. And when he was doing good, JB's dad's hat the bill would be way high up, and he would be watching and he'd be happier than shit. And he's like, yeah, when JB was doing bad, that hat was below his eyebrows and his head was sunk like this, and he just shook his fucking head.
Yeah, I don't think my dad would be doing that if he did wear a ball cap.
Yeah. Jeremiah goes, he thinks Caster some weird sponsorship thing where you send in results and they send you $100 for win or something else for TQ. Well, you know what? Although it's not a very competitive car brand, I like that. I like the contingency. Because how many 50% racers have won races at regional level races? Club races, they count, but they don't. But how many club or regional level races or national races where a 50% driver wins and they just get a pat on the back if they're lucky?
Quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, Team Associated, although I'm a 50% driver for them, They get all the free advertising in the world because they're them and TLR on all the podiums.
That is true.
And TLR is going to become more and more once they release that new buggy.
Mm-hmm. Schumacher's coming up there too.
Schumacher, so Schumacher's new buggies, the ones they release, the LD3s, they got like 3 of them. 3 or 4. 3 of them. And all the stuff that they released on the new buggy could have been bought previously. It's like, yeah, it's not. I mean, if you need a new car, yeah, you buy the most updated thing in the world, but it's nothing groundbreaking. I'm really wondering where Schumacher. Here's something. So I was listening to No Name RC podcast, and Keenan was making a prediction. Keenan was wondering where Ryan Cavalieri is going to go at the end of the year, because no way in hell he's staying at WIRC. And the Testament family and Ronald Falk do not get along.
No.
At all.
No.
Well, it's a little rough with both of them, just butt heads.
Mm-hmm.
So they think that the Testmans will be out and you're going to get rid of 2 salaries. This is Keenan's prediction, not mine, but I like it. And they think Ryan Cavalieri is going to go in there. And Ryan Cavalieri will have, because Ryan at the Worlds he didn't do too bad, but when he's been struggling with those Schumacher cars. I was sitting there thinking he's going to look like Champlin when he moved to Schumacher, because Champlin is just insane. He is phenomenal with those cars. When I saw Champlin go from Team Associated to Schumacher, I literally go, oh fuck, there goes his career. I said it's over for Champlin. You're never going to hear his name again. But he took those Schumacher cars and he thrived. So, Doug Reek is wondering, am I announcing any of the combo races with the toy box or dollar? I am not. Saturdays are my race day. I'm announcing
every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm announcing on Fridays. I'm also announcing the Christmas Classic and the Icebreaker. That's the name of the race. Those are on-road races. So, yeah, man, I got a couple notes and then we can get into questions. Do you have anything else?
Let's talk about some upcoming races then. I know there's really only 2, but
yeah, we can in a second. The oldest track in the country, I believe it's the oldest track, one of the oldest tracks, is for sale. Moore RC.
Never heard of her.
What? Never heard of Moore RC.
I don't get around that much, dude.
You don't get around, but you've heard of OCRC, right?
Yes, of course I've heard of OCRC.
And SDRC and all that junk.
Oh yeah, and what was the one down in Arizona? The outdoor one.
Where they held the Cactus Classic, yeah.
I actually raced there once.
That's awesome. So the guy who ran that, his name was Chad Brockman. Great, 80s detective name. And his dad opened up the track 34 or 37 years ago. And Chad's owned it. Now Chad's it's time to pass it on. What I think should happen, and they have enough people to do this, and Dustin Evans is their local pro, I think they should run it as a club. I really do. Because if you're not part of that family and you don't have the same vision of those guys, that track will not survive. So I think those racers should get a legitimate club together, do a nonprofit gig. It's hard to do a nonprofit, but you can do it. And I think they should run it as a club. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the country, it's not historical, but in the RC world, it is super historical. More RC has been there since not the beginning, but pretty damn close. They have a big outdoor Astro. It's the size of 510. They have a clay track the size of 510. But man, they really make it work for them.
That's good,
a lot of local racers here have been there. I know Bonner's been there. I know Evan Tapp's been there. I know Nathan Joran's been there. There's been a bunch. So
as we're on the topic of tracks, if you had one track to pick out of the entire country, we'll just stay in the country, not world. We'll stay in the country. If you had one track that you would want to race at, where would you go?
Did I have a race?
Sure, like a bucket list track.
Does it have to be present or can it be past?
Present.
All right.
We're talking real time here. Like you were to get on a plane tomorrow and you would go there.
I have 3.
Oh boy.
I do have 3. For fifth scale, Robinson Raceway in California. For ace scale, I want to go to Homer Ullman's track, the Tilt Yard.
That would be a fun one.
Oh, dude, that looks just baller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for 10 scale, with the people they got behind it, I would have to say Hobby Action.
I've been there too.
Yeah. What would you have to say? Because, I mean, I've already raced at great tracks. Like the Hobbyplex is a great track, but I've raced there and I've raced at Island Speedway. They're a great track. So I've already raced at awesome tracks. Hi, Olivia.
Joe says hi. Do you want to make a guest appearance on the podcast? He's already been on.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Let's see. An 8-scale track, it would be either Tilt Yard or where they hold the Nitro Challenge.
Paris, California.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
10 scale. That's also a tough one because I've been to Hobby Action. I was going to say Hobby Action. But maybe even Hoosier.
Hoosier, yeah. You know, I'm starting to get over the fact that they're name thieving people. And I really do like the looks of their track. So
yeah, I just wish they had an oval to make it legit.
Yeah,
then I'd probably really consider going.
Right. Well, you know the Hobbyplex has an oval, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if they run them back to back with the Techno races.
They do. Well, he used to. He would run the weekend of the Techno series. He'd run, and then it would either be the day after or the weekend after.
Oh,
on a Sunday, he would run the oval.
Gary's saying the Hoosier does have an oval.
Do they?
Yeah. Keith Hodges is wondering, what do we think about the new Techno SCT? What I think about Techno is they absolutely have that short course market locked down. And isn't that the one Sean had a lot to do with?
I think so.
Well, you remember the one Sean was running at the 510 to where it's like, holy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Like, I've never wanted a Pro 4 in my life, but that thing that him and, God, why can't I think of his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Beard, really good dude.
Rick Provost?
No.
Local?
Yeah, he works with Sean with this stuff. He makes a C&D
Oh,
block.
Stu. Jesse
Stu,
Stewart.
yeah. Yeah, Stu. So him and Stu worked on that truck. And those trucks, compared to the Techno then, what was it, the SET 10.3, I believe?
Something like that, yeah.
So the one Sean had and Stu had, in comparison to those, it's like, oh, wait, we might have something here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what ever happened to it, or if the new one Sean had a lot to do with, or whatever. But yeah, those were freaking awesome because they worked as well as a mini truggy. What are you popping up here? Let's add that.
Hold on. That's the wrong one.
Okay.
I wanted to do this.
Okay, hold on. Let me make adjustments.
What's that?
There we go. Oh, there's some oval racing.
This is Hoosier.
Yeah, I don't mind that. What I wish is there is more of a center barrier. That's one thing I can't stand about a lot.
Mm-hmm. these are I think these are foam tire late models.
Okay.
I believe that's the owner.
Yeah. Those things are quick. Did you just say they're 10.5?
I think they're 13.5.
I thought he said 10.5.
Nope, they're 13.5. They're just stock, so they're a spec motor.
Okay. Those are screaming for just stocks.
Mm-hmm.
There's some lady on TikTok today that was live from some track in New York that was super small. And it was Sunday racing, and it was just like literally 10 heats of Mud Boss and street stock, and that was it. See, this looks like fun. I'm going to remove it, though, because that guy's loud.
I turned the volume way down.
No, I could have muted it. I ain't muted it.
Oh.
Keith is saying that, they announced a new SCT based on the newer A scales. Well, I have not seen that, but I'm sure it'll be good because they're the only ones that keep developing a Pro 4. One thing about Techno is they're not going to release something worse than the previous generation.
Very true.
So,
and for any of you wondering, I do still have a vehicle.
Yeah.
I've just been working very slowly at getting this to the point where
I have too many vehicles. So I made a post the other day, and I'm looking for a pit trailer, okay? Joey, I'm wondering, what in the hell am I missing? Because everybody goes, oh, you can't pull it with your little truck. First off,
oh boy, here we go. We're going on a tangent. Get popcorn.
Not a tangent.
Get the popcorn.
But my truck is longer than most Silverados. My wheelbase is longer than most Silverados. I have a towing capacity of 6,700 pounds. Okay. Now, if I get a stabilizer hitch and parking brakes, or not parking, trailer brakes.
Trailer brakes.
What the hell am I missing? Why can I not tow with my truck? Everybody's like, oh, good luck towing with your truck. It's like, seriously, a lot of these guys saying good luck towing with your truck are guys with quote unquote full-size trucks with 5-foot fucking beds. So, Gary's saying weight-wise, I'll be fine and the wind will be sketchy. Well, yeah, that's why I'm getting a stabilizer hitch.
Well, the wind will still make it sketchy because it's a heavier trailer compared to the weight of your truck. The trailer's gonna overweigh its swaying, which will make the truck sway. What do you know what the stabilizer hitch does?
I believe so. I believe him.
So by putting a stabilizer hitch on your trailer, it's taking weight off the rear and putting it on the front. So not all your weight is going to be on the rear tires. It's also putting weight on your front tires to take some of the deviation out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to balance the weight is all it's doing. It has nothing to do with the trailer. It's mainly all in the truck.
Jacob saying, hello, guys. See you next week. Yeah, you missed it. I just predicted you on the podium of Two Wheel Mod.
That just means he's going to have to go back and listen to it or watch it.
Yeah. Jacob's good shit. I got to get down to Bad Fast Hobbies and race. I did not have any time last winter. This winter, I'm going to have time with Thunder Road not being open. Yeah. I think I'll be fine. Did I tell you I might have found one?
Yeah, when we were doing our Discord thing on Thursday, you were telling me about it.
Yeah. Jeremiah's saying maybe put bags in the rear. You know, Chad Johnson told me to put bags in the rear too. That's not a bad idea also.
It's not a bad idea at all.
He goes,
again, it's taking the weight off.
He goes, I know you'll have that bitch packed hardcore. Just don't max her out. You know, it won't be packed that bad. It won't be packed that bad. So it was just me and you on the Discord, but down the street, I totally embarrassed my wife, but I'm happy to do it because I've been driving by this trailer for months and months and months and months. I'm like, God, that'd be perfect for RC. The only problem is it's a flat nose front. It's not a V nose. It's flat nose. And I see it's got an AC unit. So one day I finally see the guy outside. I said, fuck it, I'm going to stop. Beth goes, no, God, you're so embarrassing. And I'm like, Jake saying, good luck next weekend, Joe. See you there. I'm going to need all the luck I can get. Anyway, so I pull over and I'm like, hey, is that trailer for sale? And he goes, everything's for sale for the right price. So we start talking, and that thing's got linoleum floors. It's insulated. It's got properly ran electrical by electrician for $5,500. And it already has a set of dude, that's so cheap. That's so much better than driving to Georgia and getting one.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm gonna be finding a way to peel off $5,500 before next spring because that thing's gonna be my new race rig, and I gotta get it before he moves.
Feetfinder.com.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. I wonder what kind of messed up people, like there's normal people that pay for feet pics, but I wonder what kind of messed up, deranged, perverted people would pay for pictures of my feet. They're all busted up, and Jake's wondering what class are. Well, Joey's not going. Joe 3 is running 2-wheel and 4-wheel intermediate, and I'm running 2-wheel stock expert and 4-wheel stock expert. I was going to run 40 plus, but dude, the time got away from me. You know, I had a lot of fun this summer. I raced a lot. I hung out with the wife a lot. But my biggest problem is my back was out for that entire month. The entire month of August, my back was out. So that killed a whole lot more time than I would have anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, yeah, you know, I think I'll be just fine towing a trailer. And my truck, it's not like, so I put it up in the Frontier Facebook group I'm a part of. And there's guys who have never towed with it said, oh, you're going to be so screwed if you get something that size. And there's guys with the same trailer. They're like, you'll be fine. Don't be a pussy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just people I'm not trying to pull it with the Ford Ranger, even though I've done some really sketchy shit with S10s and Ford Rangers. Let's get into some of the Facebook questions. Keith Hodges has wondered, when are one of you going to build a 25.5 TC? Great racing at $1 with very close racing. And Choban put up the results, and they said between TQ and P5, there were only 5 seconds between them qualifying. I don't have time, or I would. I don't know. What about you, Joey? Have you ever ran on road? You don't seem like a guy that would run on road often.
Always wanted to, never had the chance. Just to try it.
Plus, I'm more of a 12 scale guy.
Yeah, the on-road world is like talking to me from across the country.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it.
Well, I used to like 12 scale because it was simpler. But now there's this Awesomatics that is blowing every car out of the water. Roche just came out with a new car. Did the cat get you furry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. He's a very fluffy cat.
Yeah, my cat doesn't bother me on here anymore. Kind of sucks. I miss her bugging me.
Every single time I'm in here, he comes in here and either sits on the windowsill, it's over there.
Yep.
Or he comes and sits by my feet.
Yeah. Matt Del Judas is wondering, just want to thank Matt Campbell, Tyrone Jefferson, and the third guy that came with them. He think his name was Ben, can't remember it off the top of his head, for coming down to the first leg of the Motive Midwest All-Stars Carpet Series group race. Next race is November 4th at Pro Source in Indianapolis. The next closest one to Minnesota will be December 2nd in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And thank you, Joe, for mentioning the series a month ago on the show, and see you at the Christmas Classic. Yeah, dude, I'm all about series races. And, you know, I think it's really important, like, traveling series. I think it's important for the MNRC to find out who a true champion is, and for this Motive Midwest All-Stars carpet race, you go to different tracks and find out, do the points, find out who the real champion is. That's also why I like the border battle between the Toy Box and Dollar. It's really a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeremiah just sent me a deal for a Frontier dually.
Oh boy.
Oh crap. That's funny. Yeah, I'll be all right. I think so anyways.
You'll probably spend a lot of money in fuel, but
Oh yeah. I'm expecting 9 to 10 miles a gallon.
maybe less.
Yeah. Well, so normally at like 60, 65, if I can keep it at 60 to 65 miles an hour with no load, I get about 26 miles a gallon.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So that's where I got my 10 mile a gallon, because I know my gas mileage is going to die. But you know what? It's so worth it. It's so worth it not putting that pop-up in my truck and trying to finagle all of my stuff and all of Joe 3's stuff and all of Senior stuff. It's all just going in, and the tires are staying in the trailer. You know, the non-important stuff, if it gets stolen, yeah, it sucks, but I'll live. All of that is staying in the trailer.
Hell yeah.
Because I am just... I'll tell you what. There's no worse part of the race weekend than loading up my truck. 10 scale,
everybody.
Yeah, 10 scale, it's not so bad. You throw in an Ogio bag in a box or two, and you're good to go. We got one more question here from Facebook. Eric Hogarth is wondering, why are tracks closing in Minnesota and opening in North Dakota and South Dakota? Minnesota has way more people. Watford City, Mandan, and Haiti, South Dakota all have tracks opening. Well, I don't know, man. Management. That's the best way I can put it, because like at Thunder Road, all winter long, last year, we were between 80 and 140 entries all winter long. We're keeping Dollar Hobbies going pretty good. MMR will always be there because RC is a secondary business, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But tracks close, but also I've never seen anybody when they close the track. I've never ever seen anybody that wants to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of feel you.
They all want to just be done with it for good. F it. Wash my hands of this. Chris Martin sold all of his RC shit after the 510 closed. He just goes, I'm done. Can't really blame him. So, yeah. Braden's saying that's only 3 more miles per gallon better than a Silverado, and he gets 10 miles per gallon pulling that big trailer.
Jesus Christ.
Well, so he's got, Braden, is it a 20-foot trailer or a 30-foot trailer? He's got a big one.
I think it's a 20.
20, yeah. Jeremiah's saying post links to the new tracks on your page when this is done. I will when I get them. And he's saying commercial rent is absolutely insane anywhere within an hour of the cities. Can't turn a profit. While this is true now, it's not going to be soon. Braden's it's a 34-foot, all aluminum, 7.5 feet wide.
At least it's all aluminum.
Yeah. So I'm looking at an all aluminum 16 by 7. 16 by 7 is what I'm looking at right now. That I really need to get the money for because I'm way too excited for it, for the price.
I'm telling you, man, feedfinder.com.
I know. If I were to put that trailer together brand new, it would be double. It would definitely be $11,000.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's me going to Georgia and getting the cheaper trailer, and all that junk.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyways, what Jeremiah was saying was commercial rent is insane, and it is right now. But the thing is, so office buildings, because of the work from home thing and all that other junk, office buildings are starting to take a shit. And that's where I'm going to make my first move. Office buildings, not literally. Let's not play the hyperbole. We're going to say you're going to be able to get an office building for pennies on the dollar. And that's where I'm going to start my investing. Because of all this work from home junk, all this, all that, most of the offices in the United States are empty. Like, for a good example, an office in San Francisco for the mortgage, San Francisco is shitty, but this is the best example. For an office in San Francisco, to pay the mortgage, you need to sell your office space for $12.50 a square foot. And right now they're covering about $11 a square foot. And guess what? That math doesn't math. And it's not going to hold up for much longer. And commercial real estate and office is going to crash really fucking hard. And you know, Crossroads and they say, some say St. Cloud, some say Wade Park. Do you realize that's in foreclosure right now?
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And guess what? You could probably go to the bank and go to one of those anchor stores and be like, hey, I'll give you $7,000 a month for 3 years. And you could run a legitimate track and hobby shop. Not just a track, but you could have a good, like, hobby town. You could have a legitimate business out of something like that. You just need to be creative. Yeah, you're not going to get a space in, like, the Mall of America, but guess what? Rosedale. Oh, you been to Rosedale lately?
Oh, yeah.
Whoo. Northtown? Oof. All these ghetto mall spaces to where if you're there in the dark, you might get robbed. Those are perfect spots for RC tracks.
Until you leave your space open and somebody decides to come in and fuck with
Oh
you.
yeah, you can't ever. Dave Kirshner is a perfect example of that. I doubt you know Dave Kirshner, but he was a super fast on-road racer. And he's come back in the past few years to race off-road. And he's a pretty quick carpet off-road racer too. But back when we had a track in Village North in Brooklyn Park off of Brooklyn Boulevard, okay? David Kirshner thought he would be safe to bring his RC bags outside and leave them outside of his car, not put them in his car. And then he went into bullshit with people and grab another load. They were gone. Dude. Yeah.
People just don't respect other people's shit. They
No,
just
but
decide they want to take it.
But it's a good example. If you're going to get cheap real estate, you got to be on your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gary's saying old dairy barns work for tracks. Yeah.
We need to convince him to build a crawler track in his other barn. Or a crawler course. I don't know why I just said track.
Make a rock racing track. Oh, Jeremiah's saying back at the old Circus Pizza. No, Jeremiah, that was Village North. That's the name of that mall. So the track was right next to Circus Pizza in Village North in the mall. And we used to run Nitro Stadium trucks in there. And that whole place stunk like nitro fuel. Like you'd go into Circus in the arcade and Renee's spending Gary's money. Just kidding. Renee did just buy a couple of tricked out crawlers. She goes, it's on her mind already. You know what? Crawler tracks are for the creative type. So I'm sure Renee would do a great job. I want to say women would do a way better job at making crawler tracks than men.
I completely agree with that.
Because men just think of big jumps, fast turns, high traction.
Mm-hmm.
Women are like, ooh, what about a water feature right here? You know, make this rock section hard and, you know. So, yeah.
As we're on that topic of him, I just got cookies brought to me.
Nice. Real quick before that, but Jeremiah's saying we ran down the road to where Rainbow was touring car about 24 years ago when the HPI. So no, Jeremiah, that was in Edinburgh Grove Heights at Dewey's Hobbies. That was in the same mall as Rainbow Foods. And that was also a dead mall that track survived in. Anyways, go ahead, Joey.
This weekend, Gary had his swap meet open practice day on Saturday.
Yeah, how'd that go? I wanted to go.
I wasn't there for the entire time. I did show up, however, for an hour.
Yeah.
And for the people's cars that I drove, the track was actually really nice. And he's done some good work with that thing or with that track.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremiah said it was a Brooklyn Park hobby town. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you don't need to race. You don't need much, but to build a business in the RC world, you need a lot. You need a lot of employees, a lot of product, a lot of square feet. Here's the deal. If you're not willing to build the Hobbyplex, you're not even in the fucking game. Don't even think about it. I'm saying as a business. If you want to build a track, cool. We always need more tracks, as you can see. But if you think you're going to get it by with just a track with the wall of parts like TCHR, nah. Nope. Because you need trains, you need Warhammer, you need D&D stuff, you need Magic the Gathering. RC is not all you need. So, Anyways. So, I don't know, man. I'm still nervous about the race coming up. I still got to do Joe 3's rear shocks. What shows... I've been meaning to ask you this. I think I might have asked you this on the podcast. What shows do you watch when you wrench?
So a couple nights ago, I'll typically turn on a movie.
Yeah.
Because I have my TV right here, big enough to where I can make myself go dizzy.
Right.
So I'll normally turn something on there. Like I watched a scary movie called Us.
Okay.
And then I've been watching Suits.
Okay, how's that? I'm thinking about that one.
Dude, you should. It's a really good show. I still can't figure out what's with the can opener, but once you start watching it, you'll understand why I'm saying can opener.
Yeah.
I'll
Oh,
even
yeah.
turn on some of the Come Drive With Us stuff and the and the J-Con live stuff.
Okay, yeah. I'll listen to a Radio Impound podcast for sure when I'm wrenching.
Oh yeah, podcasts are another thing too.
Yeah. Well, when they're live, I will. AJ's saying when he went to Island, they were running a U-Haul business out of there also. Yeah, they also run a U-Haul business out of Island. You gotta hustle to make that money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly just movies or random TV shows.
Yeah. I'll watch random like animation, like King of the Hill, American Dad, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through The Sopranos. I finished it yesterday. It's the second time through, so I knew how it ended and all that junk. But I'm starting for the first time to watch Game of Thrones.
Uh-oh.
I'm in episode 3. And I don't quite get it, but I want to get it. It has good violence. It has good other stuff I like. But I don't get it. I don't know, man. I mean, you have these attack wolves. You have crazy brothel scenes. You have people with their heads getting chopped off. Everything a guy would want in a show. Everything. You know what it is? The whole thing was made before the invention of a car.
True.
I had that revelation a couple years ago when Beth was watching. It's like, God, I should really like this show. But then it's like, I don't really like old Westerns. It's like, I really don't like, things I should like older scenario, like TV or movies. And it's like, it's all because it's before the invention of the car.
Mm-hmm.
AJ says he's watching American Dad while he's gluing tires for next week. Ooh, I got to start gluing tires. I got to glue so many tires. Lonnie says, stick with Game of Thrones. Everything comes together. So I got to tell you the truth. I watched the very last episode with Beth. And I said, what the hell is this? It makes no sense. The cinematography's garbage. This whole thing is garbage. And she's like, well, you got to watch the whole thing. To be fair, that stuff is in season 1 is all better than the last season. Well, I only watched the last episode.
I started watching. I got up to season 2, episode 1, and I stopped.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the end of The Sopranos. It might be an HBO thing where the ending's just one big disappointment.
That seems to be the common case with a lot of Netflix movies nowadays.
Yep. Because I want to say the end of this is a really old series. It's that prison show called Oz on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
It had the dude from Law and Order. He played like a white supremacist Nazi, and it had a few other dudes in there you'd recognize.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a great show, but the last episode, I just remember it being super disappointing. Pat Boyd saying Formula One Drive to Survive. Normally, that would be a great show to wrench on, but the wife requires to watch those with me because she's like, God, you boys are just as boy racers are just as catty as like the Kardashians and shit. It's like, no. So, have you seen all the people getting hard about the F1 drivers, Lewis Hamilton and someone else driving A-scale buggies?
I don't recall.
Yeah, they just drove them up and down the paddock a couple times, and they're like, oh, look, they drove RC cars. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll get them to a race.
Yeah, put them on a track and see how they do.
Well, Lewis Hamilton, when he was young, he was a European champion. I want to say when he was 7. Yeah. He's a stick radio guy, Lewis Hamilton is.
They all are over in Europe.
I kind of wonder what would happen if you got more of an in-depth PlayStation 5 controller. If you were to make the trigger deeper and the L2 button bumper deeper for your brakes, I wonder how you would do.
We're not talking about the submersible here, are we?
No.
Okay, good.
We're not using Logitech controllers. God, it makes you wonder what they were trying to hide something there because they knew immediately they were dead. But the government let people go on about that for like 5 days thinking they'd be all right. They knew within 30 seconds that they were dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. AJ saying Kyle Larson qualified for his F1 race. He believes I also give guys major props for using a stick radio. I'm sure you've all seen the video of Ungaro using a stick radio. It is mind-boggling. Same with the Little Bump. Little Bump uses a stick too.
I'd be curious just to sit there and like try and play or drive a car with a stick radio.
I could do it on the street back and forth. On the track, I know I would have an issue. What if you think you'd have an issue, but you're just naturally good at it and you've been wasting so much time with the gun radio?
Maybe.
That thought comes across my head all the time.
Dude, you fucking suck with the gun radio. Go get a stick radio. And you go out there and let's say it's an MNRC weekend, you absolutely dominate with a stick radio. How pissed do you think people would be?
How pissed do you think you'd be at yourself for wasting so much time?
Exactly. Audience, any ideas?
Oh, dude, everybody, you know what would happen? Let's say somebody of my stature who's, middle of the B and buggy in the MNRC. Sometimes I can back my way into the A if I walk backwards through a cornfield naked. That
escalated quickly.
Yes, it does. So let's say I all of a sudden win with the stick. Let's say I beat Kyle Holmberg with the stick radio.
Good luck.
Let's say I do, though. How many people at the next MNRC event do you think would have stick radios? 80% of them?
It's a good assumption.
Jeremiah says, looking for an oval rig someone has stash and will never use again. Jason White has a Midwest mod for sale. What are you pointing at? Use your words, Joey.
My Midwest mod. You can buy it from me.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason's also got one. AJ said guys would probably go buy one the following week and try it. I agree. Think about it. Let's say I added a lap in like a quarter to my time just by moving to a stick radio. Oh, how much is your Midwest mod as a roller?
I'd probably do with body and body mounts probably 175.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get a message from Kyle in about 20 minutes saying you're stupid for doing that.
Yeah, you probably will.
But
Doug's saying he thinks more like 90% of people would try it. The stick radio, if that would happen. Dude, it would be a good experiment, though, no?
oh yeah, 100%.
But I would do it like I would go out to like Sean's on like a Tuesday morning when no one's out there and see what would happen and practice with it. AJ saying he'd rather have a real one, Jeremiah. AJ, everybody would rather have a real one. Do you think anybody races RC over big cars? Nobody races RC over big cars. We race within our budget.
True.
Gary's saying Midwest Mod is going to be insane this year. Super stacked field.
I heard Kyle Holmberg is going to make an appearance back to Oval here this season.
It's good. Jeremiah's saying, shit, I'd be game to snatch that up from you. So, well, Jeremiah, you know how to get a hold of him. So are you just going to race? Well, yeah, you're announcing. You can only race one class if you race.
Or if he's nice, he'll let me run two, but probably just one, even if I even race.
Well, that's the thing. If you race, you know, I always have the thought of bringing my wheeler to Dollar because it's a smaller class. And it's like, yeah, just go run wheeler. It's a smaller, more quiet class. But it's like, no, I can't do it. But, yeah. And then the dumb part of me wants to get a Slash just for Dollar.
I almost kind of want to get a Slash for Gary's to run Slash mod.
Yeah. I just like... So, Slash class at MMR and Dollar... It's the way Slash needs to be ran. Oh, Lonnie says he'll buy the Midwest Mod.
Okay, hold up, time out here, gentlemen. Let's just do an auction here. I'll go live in the Discord tomorrow at 1 a.m. We'll start doing auctions.
1 a.m. Who the fuck? No.
Exactly my point.
The world does not exist at 1 a.m.
For this guy, it does.
AJ goes, he bets $1.
Well, there's
so
bidding started.
I was gonna maybe build a Midwest Mod, but I might build another parts car for a friend's kid because one of my friend's kids went to a Party Crashers event, and then all of a sudden I get a text message. She goes, "What does my kid have to do to be a part of your cult?" And I just started laughing my ass off. And of course, I gave her the spiel about the Slash, but I go, I know he tried all three cars. He tried the Bandit, he tried the Slash, and he tried the Stampede. I go, which one did he like more? And she goes, the Bandit. So it's like, well, the kid's going to want a buggy. So it's like, I might have enough spare shit to get that kid a roller.
Or do you want to go oval racing?
God, that's a good question. God, why are people fucking... Are you getting these spam deals on your social media when you friend somebody and they're like, hey, would you like me to make a t-shirt or a painting of your race cars? It's like, oh, why don't you die? Please die. Why are you bothering me with this stuff?
Fuck off.
Yeah. No, I don't. Not one bit. People are the worst. So I have one more segment before we get. He goes, I got a body, Joe, if you do it. Oh, sweet. I got bodies too.
A mounting kit.
No, I think he's talking about a buggy.
Oh.
Because, well, both AJ and I kind of throw our stock bodies aside and we run JCon lightweights.
I'd be curious to see how them S15 bodies work.
I want to say I got the new one for the Wheeler. Whatever the newest one for the Wheeler is. I got that one to try, but the S15 came out with the two-wheel, I want to say Thursday or Friday, and it just wasn't enough time to get one. But you know what? If Jason's there and he has one for me, I'll bomb one in my Tamiya Cobalt Green, and I will definitely run one. Absolutely. So let's get into races coming up. So we have the NCTS next week at Island. The week after that is going to be a busy weekend of racing. So why don't you go first? Where are you?
All right. Well, me, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm texting Jeremiah. We're already starting the auctions on my Midwest mod.
Oh shit.
Well, isn't the Techno series is in 2 weeks,
Okay.
I think. I think 2 or 3 weeks, I forget.
I hope that two-day race deal works out for him.
I hope so too. That'd be pretty baller if it did.
Yeah, I hope it works out how he envisions.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we've already said it. NCTS next weekend. The weekend after that, either Omaha Hobby Farm is their points opener.
Yeah.
The weekend after. Myself, I don't know if I'll be there. We have a lot of work to do with the race cars before he leaves. That's about all I know.
So the $27 Hobbies having their second off-road points race. And then the 28th is the first points race at the Toy Box. So you got 2 10-scale artificial turf races. You got Carpet and AstroTurf within days of each other. So we got options, guys. So if you're not at one, you got to be at the other, or the other, or the other. I don't want to hear, yeah. So, anyways, I kind of want to end this segment. Do you ever buy stuff and then you just leave it in the front hall until your wife gets mad and it's like, you got to take this downstairs?
I've definitely done that once or twice.
So, I left stuff upstairs for so long. I got a box next to me. This is crap I left upstairs for way too long. I have a 1/5 scale gas tank. I will not be using that at all this year. I forgot to bring it with me to the last race at Southern. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to probably blow up the gas tank because I ain't,
That's normally how it works.
Yeah. And I got 2 packs of Low Z pre-oiled filters because those are my air filter of choice on the Team Associated because they don't overdo it.
Good option. I gotta find that bag actually, but I have what is it, 48 12-pack of those? The ProTech ones?
So I always try to buy the ProTech ones, but they've been out of stock for like 10 years. So I never get them. Anyway, frickin' A, dude, I podcasted for 3.5 hours today. So on my other podcast, we did a 2+ hour podcast with a Brooklyn Center police officer.
Oh, really?
So I recommend going to my Cauliflower Ear Facebook page and either listening on Spotify or finding the YouTube link. Dude, it is fascinating. It's fascinating how, like, he became a Brooklyn Center police officer at the age of 21. He's 37 now. And just hearing some of the stories. And he goes, I was talking to him. I'm like, just to lighten the load a little bit. I'm like, yeah, what's the silliest thing you've ever done or written a ticket for? It's like, I can't really remember. Silly. I said, I'll give you a good example. One of the best tickets I ever got in my life. I had an 88 S10 lowrider that I got from Steve and Mark Berg, or his GMC S15. 5-speed. Don't ask me how I did this, but this is what I did. So I cranked the wheel, I dumped the clutch, I put a brick on the gas pedal, and I hung my ass out the window. And this officer, who's given me several tickets in the past, goes, and he's, I helped build the fleet of police bicycles, all that stuff, when I used to race for the bike shop around there and all that. He goes, he's like, I just don't know. I don't know how to write this ticket, Joe. I don't know what to do. I got a reckless for it, is what happened. He goes, what am I supposed to do with this? My buddy's like, yeah, I never had anything like that. So, yeah. I hate to plug, because usually MMA and RC don't go well together.
Mm-hmm.
But that podcast, there was barely any fight talk in it. Like the last 20 minutes was fight talk. And then it's like an hour and 45 minutes of him being like a police officer and then his life. It's really good and fascinating. So, yeah, guys, check that one out. Are you good, Joey?
I am, yeah.
All right. So how about we go racing and come back live on the 29th? All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, I'm Joe Zer Jr., and with me was Joey Fitzsimmons, and we've ran out of talent. See you later, guys.
Later on, fellas.